Good evening. You've seen the poster, you've read the reviews, you've probably even checked out the movie. You know that the man from Middleton is everywhere. Important point we're making this evening, it's not just the poster that's carefully thought out. Full, blow, job, scene. But actually, every step of the comic genius's career, meticulously taken. Tonight, the 10 rules for being Steve Coogan.
He's a genius, basically, I think. I think it's absolutely, I think he's amazing.
I think some people are naturally funny, aren't they? And he's got the gift. He's a funny man. I don't think it's something, I don't think it's something you can train to do. I think he's naturally funny.
He has the ability to make you laugh and cringe and cry at the same time. And I think he has a genius.
First commandment, assiduously develop your talent. For Steve, that's voices.
One man is the predator, and that man is Ronnie Corbett.
Go. Okay, listen up, you guys. We got 24 hours to nail the Viet Cong. They're mean, the vicious, so watch your ass. Any questions? Yeah, at the back, Corbett.
One question, please, one question. Now, I am the predator, which means I have to blow people away, not very nice.
I had a car with tyres that squealed when you went round a roundabout. And my wife was annoyed about this and used to make me slow down so that they didn't squeal. And the next time we were out in the car together, I'm going slowly, and this squeal comes from behind me, and I was amazed. It was just as though the tyres were squealing, but it was Stephen imitating them.
Age?
3.
We weren't a very touchy-feely sort of family, and the way you sort of expressed yourself was taking the piss out of each other. I mean, that's what you did. And that was where you expressed affection, basically, to try and top each other's insults, as it were. I remember waking up my younger brothers in the middle of the night and saying, "Can you tell who this is?" Like, in the middle of the night, waking up and going, "Look, I've been standing in front of the mirror, and I think I've perfected Norris McWhirter."
When he got to the stage where he was imitating teachers, and some of the teachers themselves were using him on the phone, mimicking the headmaster to play tricks on their colleagues.
I see. That's encouragement.
And the headmaster found out about it. There was no recrimination, he laughed.
The second commandment, accept the whisperings of fate, in particular in the school canteen at Cardinal Langley in Middleton.
People used to say that thing like, "Hey, you should be on the telly," right? So I thought, well, maybe there's something in it. And this moment of lucidity I had was, I was sitting in the canteen and thinking, well, there's all these people who are successful in comedy now, like the Young Ones, and before the Young Ones was Not an Adequate News, and before that was Monty Python, and before that the Goons. I thought, well, there's going to have to be a new generation come through. Why shouldn't I be part of that generation?
You had the temerity to imagine you could be.
Yeah,
possibly.
I could be. And I thought, well, there's probably people all around the country right now, my age, who don't even know that they're going to be part of it. So I thought, well, I'm going to do whatever it is you're supposed to do to make that happen and see if it happens. And if it doesn't, at least I tried.
We're going to hear from someone whose humour is beyond reproach with his regular review of the week. Here's Steve Coogan.
Already renowned for the voices behind many spitting image puppets, he got his own face on telly by working with Lucy Meacock and me on Up Front.
You what? You want me to play a cello? He's a darkie, isn't he? Never mind, I'll take the piss. They don't mind. It's just a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
We're going to show you a TV clip from the past. Come here.
Right.
Okay. We'll show you this, because this is...
But this is not me when I can't see the auto-prompt, is it?
But Gorbachev is in fact a Wigan football supporter. No doubt his aides will soon disclose that the mark on his forehead is the result of a drunken night after an away match when he was involved in a fight with a nightclub bouncer who had shouted, "Perestroika is a radical but naive approach to change society, fraught with eternal conflict, and Wigan are crap." Well, I think you did great. I used to think...
Ricky Tomlinson's not amused. Look at
Ricky's not amused
He's
at all.
not amused at all. Bit of a clap.
Coming up next, join us in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Did you do that just to go on television? Because in a way, it wasn't your thing, was it?
Not really. I just thought it would be. I don't know. I was in Manchester, and it was. I just thought it seemed like a. I didn't quite know. I was fishing around to try and find my feet at the time.
I'm not saying it didn't work. I mean, I thought you were really good at it, but I just thought we were pushing you.
It wasn't what I was comfortable in. I think I auditioned for a kind of listings program called The New or What's New or something like that, as a presenter, and didn't get it. But because it wasn't my natural. I mean, when I'm doing that there, I'm not really being me there. I'm sort of doing what I think you're supposed to be when you're a presenter, kind of thing, rather than being relaxed. So, it was
live television.
It was live television. Live television is exciting.
Third commandment: avoid the easy route.
First agent I had was a kind of a real old showbiz style agent. You know, do you want to be on Des O'Connor, Steve? You know, I said, well, you know, I'm not sure it's the right thing. You know, Steve, you know, you're starting out. You got to do this kind of thing, if you don't get anywhere. And I said, well, I want to be like. I remember saying, I want to be like Stephen Fry or Ben Elton. You know, I want to have some credibility.
Today, we're going to build a house. It's a very, very important house. It's the House of Commons.
I did like the observation around the crypto factor. I did sort of a sketch which had some continuity errors in it that the contestants had to spot. And it was work, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. But I had a sense that I was regarded as lightweight by my peers in the industry.
Anyway, that's all for this afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow. See you then.
Bye-bye. I think he realised that there was only so far you can go with the decision to go mainstream.
There's no point in me doing something that other people can do better. So what do I think I can do that's better? And I was thinking, you know, quite rationally about it. Well, I was trained as an actor, so I think I can act a bit, and I know how to do stand-up comedy. So why don't I combine those two things and do stand-up acting?
I remember him saying, when I asked him about something that he wanted to do, I said, isn't that a diversion? I can't remember what it was. And he said, I don't want to be thought of as just a mimic. He said, I want to be a comic actor.
In 1992, Paul Carth and Coogan the comic actor were born.
Dear Julie, I can't stop thinking about you. We had some good times and some bad times. Do you remember when I was sick in the back of that taxi? And he threw us out in the middle of the Peak District at 2 o'clock in the morning, in the pouring rain, and all we had was half a can of lager. And there were bad times as well. Like when we didn't have any lager at all.
Fourth commandment: mix cultures, taking the best from both.
I'm not saying Bernard's rough, but when he was born, the midwife slapped his mother.
Steve's Les Dawson reminds us that there are two alternating traditions in British comedy: the broad, often northern comic, and the Oxbridge crowd, beyond the fringe, Monty Python. Steve was embraced by the Oxbridge lot of the early 90s, in particular, Beeb producer Armando Iannucci.
I think I owe a lot to Armando because he was producing this On the Hour with Chris Morris at the time, and he just picked 5 people at random to come in and do this radio show. When I went in, the scripts, the whole style, the nature of the comedy was very adventurous and new and different and exciting.
He saw himself, I know this, as a kind of a catalyst among, I wouldn't say academics, but people who were so much, he reckoned, better educated than he was, that he was the thorn that could spark things off. I didn't see it quite like that, because I know he's cleverer than he perhaps thinks he is.
Armando moved me on again and stretched the agenda and sort of went, you know, knew that I was good at voices and I was inventive. Well, it was challenging and raised the game for me in that department, and that led to...
Aha! Can we drop that now, please? Become a bit of an albatross. OK, good evening and welcome to Alan's Chat Forum. That's forum, which I think is made clear. Yes, there we go.
Next rule: accept the trials and tribulations of celebrity with stoicism and good grace. As fame hit, so did the tabloids. Things happened to Steve with women and drugs, and they happened on the front pages.
I hadn't quite got my head around the fact that I was famous. I was flabbergasted that anyone was remotely interested in my private life, because I hadn't quite understood that I'm famous and what that means and what that entails. And I do now, and so I've learned
You're
a lot.
more careful.
So I'm a bit more careful.
The best thing is, I don't let it bother me. Because he is a fucking fucker.
The sixth commandment, take up challenges, even ones overheard in a toilet.
Love is a great motivator, but anger and venom is another great motivator too. And I remember hearing someone said to someone, "Oh yeah, someone saying they loved your TV show, but you weren't much good at live work." And I thought, right, okay, I'm going to do a live show. Because I just heard that, and
Exactly.
it really bugged me.
I can imagine.
Right? And it really bugged me that someone had said this, some other comic had said this. I thought, right, sod this. I want to do a big live show with dancers and musicians, because that's seen as passé, it's seen as the preserve of Jim Davidson and that old generation. So I'm going to reclaim it.
She said, "Good evening, sir." Something began to stir all at once. Quick as a flash, from my pants I pulled out the cash, so that she would lap dance for me.
Seventh commandment, take control. Have your own production company. The South Coast beckoned when simultaneously partner Henry Normal moved to Brighton and the mother of Steve's daughter moved as well. Steve went south, not so much turning his back on the north as turning his back on London.
This is our office in Brighton, which is kind of where all the talented Brighton people meet up, like Graham Duff over there, who wrote Dr. Terrible's House of Horrible, Man with No Hair.
Steve always gets people around him. There's not just me, there's a lot of people around that are part of the service support network. And I think you need that. And I think Steve's very good at listening to other people, making a decision, and then moving on, whether he's right or wrong. I tell you what, he has no problem with being wrong. And a lot of people in this business have got a problem with being wrong.
In part two, invading Russia, which is what I call a British TV comedian going into movies, usually suicidal. Join us in 2 minutes.